Welcome to another edition of Set the Pace, running news from Australia and across the globe. Hi guys, my name is Neil and this is some of the best running news that I have spied this week. Remember to like, comment, subscribe and share this video with your running community. First up, and this has only just been confirmed this week, Athletics Australia will stage an elites only marathon on a possible 5 kilometre looped course at the Sydney International Regatta Centre in Penrith on April 25. Now, the idea behind this event is to give runners an opportunity to run an Olympic qualifying time ahead of the Games in Tokyo. Australia already has a full quota of qualifiers on the men's and women's side, but it's understood that Athletics Australia's thinking is to give those runners close to the qualifying times of 2:11:30 for the men and 2:29:30 for the women an opportunity to press their case owing to so many races having been cancelled because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Apparently, the event will be open to men who have run under 2:30 and women under 2:55 to ensure there is a good number of starters. No suggestion as yet who may take part, but hopefully more information will be released in the coming weeks and I can share more with you in a future video. Linden Hall registered an Olympic qualifier and set a new Australian all-comers record of 4:02.22 in the 1500 metres at the Canberra Track Classic last week, taking more than 1 second off the old mark which had stood since 2001. She now has to just win the Aussie title later this season to guarantee her spot for the Games. 2 days later, Linden backed up to run an 800 metre PB of 2:01.27 to win that event at the Sydney Track Classic. Also at the Canberra Track Classic, Dion Kenzie broke his own Australian record and set the Oceania T38 1500 metre record in a time of 3:58.43. Now this just came days after he became the first Australian with cerebral palsy to break the 4-minute barrier. In that same 1500 metre race in Canberra, dual world champion Jared Clifford set a new world T12 record of 3:41.34, taking almost 2 seconds off his previous world record he set at the Zatopek 10 track meeting in Melbourne in January. Jared finished third overall in the Canberra race behind Jai Edwards and Thomas Palfrey. Jenny Blundell and Matthew Ramsden took out the national 5,000 metre championships that were held in conjunction with the Sydney Track Classic last week. It was an exciting race in the women's event, with Jenny just failing to hold off Canadian Andrea Sekafine, who wasn't eligible to win the national title. Jenny, normally a 1500 metre specialist and a semi-finalist in that event at the Rio Olympics in 2016, ran 15:25.84 to be just edged out by the Canadian Olympians 15:25.62. In the men's race, Matt Ramsden used his 1500 metre speed to his advantage, finishing strongly off a slow early pace to win in 13:29.99 from Brett Robinson in 13:31.97 and Jack Rayner in 13:34.68. But for me guys, the run of the race was 18-year-old Queenslander Jude Thomas, who was sixth in 13:53, a massive 19 seconds inside the qualifying time for the World Junior Championships. Jude had originally been slated to run in the B race, but an approach from his team to organisers with a request to be elevated to the main race was accepted, and Jude didn't let them down, mixing it with the big boys. Jude appears to be an incredible talent, and his toughest choice may be deciding what his best event actually is. He currently holds World Junior Championship qualifying times from 800 metres to 5,000 metres. The World Juniors will be held in Cali, Colombia later this year. In that men's 5,000 metre B race, Michael Roger ran 14 minutes .25 to break the T46 world record when he finished third. His time slashed more than 6 seconds off his previous world record set in 2018. And in Canada, Nat Reich broke his own 1500 metre T30 record at a meeting in Victoria. The 26-year-old ran 3:52.26, taking a whopping 4 seconds off his previous time. Let's keep the Olympic theme rolling, and 2012 Olympic and 2013 World Marathon champion Stephen Kiprotich of Uganda is having one last throw of the dice to make the Ugandan team for Tokyo when he lines up against world record holder Eliud Kipchoge of Kenya at the NN Mission Marathon in Hamburg on April 11. Kiprotich hasn't raced a marathon since a poor showing at the World Championships in Doha in 2019, and his current Olympic qualifying time of 2:08 5:31 at the Hamburg Marathon 2 years ago makes him only the fourth fastest Ugandan up for selection at the present time. The 36-year-old will be joined by countrymen Felix Chimonges and Jeffrey Kursuro in Hamburg in a last-ditch attempt by the trio to lock in an Olympic team berth before the April 15 deadline put in place by the Ugandan Olympic officials. Chimonges currently holds the fastest Ugandan time during the qualifying period from his third place in the 2019 Toronto Marathon in 2:05.12. I've said in recent weeks, guys, that the entry list for the NN Mission Marathon has been pretty sketchy, but we're now starting to see a slow drips of names of those who will be taking part. Irishman Paul Pollock is another starter, but only on pacing duties to halfway. The 34-year-old who set a Northern Irish record of 2:10.25 in the 2019 Valencia Marathon runs for the NN running team and is one of 3 Irishmen who have a qualifying time for the Olympic Marathon in Tokyo. Any more starters for Hamburg? Well, none that I have been able to find that have been announced. Hellen Obiri, who is eyeing the 5,000 metres and 10,000 metre double at the Tokyo Olympics, made an impressive start to her 2021 campaign with a win in the 10,000 metres on the second day of an Athletics Kenya track and field meeting. The 5,000 metre world champion clocked 31:24, still overseas. An Australian indoor record holder, Charlie Hunter, running for Oregon University, continued his impressive run on the boards when he took out the NCAA indoor title over 800 metres in a photo finish running 1:45.90 in Fayetteville, Arkansas. This was just outside his national record of 1:45.59. Charlie won a second gold medal at the championships when he ran the third leg in Oregon's 8x800 metre relay winning team in 1:46.70. Just 50 minutes after his individual race. Impressive. And still at those championships, Brisbane YouTuber Adam Fogg was fourth in the mile in a new personal best of 3:57.32, a time which places him seventh on the Australian all-time indoor mile list. Running for Drake University, Adam set a new PB and also a new Drake School record. Now, in the lead up to the NCAAs, Adam ran 8:06 for an indoor 3K on a flat 200 metre track. Oregon sophomore Cole Hockey won the mile title in a meet record of 3:53.71. And still at the NCAAs, and Iowa State's Wesley Kiptoo dominated the 5,000 metres, setting a new meet record of 13:23.77. Wesley blew his rivals out of the water early, running 2:01 for the first 800 and 4:06 for the first mile. Not surprisingly, he wasn't challenged over the second half of the race. Returning to Australia, and the 6-foot track marathon was run last weekend and was won by Ben Dufas, who completed the 45-kilometre trail event in the Blue Mountains west of Sydney in 3:20.58, the 6th fastest winning time. Ben from Queensland had a great battle with Olympian and runner-up Ben St Lawrence, who was just 29 seconds behind after the pair traded the lead throughout the trail event. Third went to Mike Lichtwak in 3:34.55. In the women's race, it was highly regarded Scottish ultra runner Joasia Zakrzewski taking the win in 4:20.58 from Julie Quinn in 4:26.37 and Amy Daniel in 4:29.16. Joasia won the Coast to Cosig 248-kilometre ultra in December. Now, the 6-foot track marathon has been running since 1984 and is one of the most popular trail events in Australia. Registrations for the 2021 Kangaroo Island Marathon, Half Marathon and 10-kilometre close on Monday, March 29. This is going to be an emotional time for organisers, locals and runners after the devastating bushfires that wreaked havoc on the island in December 2019 and January 2020. The bushfires, which started from a lightning strike on December 20 and was declared contained on January 21, ripped through 211,000 hectares of the 440,500 hectare island. As you can see from these photos, the devastation was immense. We wish the organisers and everyone planning to run through the Flinders Chase National Park all the very best. The National Park is completely closed while these events are on, and it is one of the most stunning runs you can ever do. Trish and I were very fortunate to do the marathon there a couple of years ago, and we loved every minute of it. But As you can see, these pictures showed a much different outlook when we were there. If you're planning to get to Kangaroo Island in May for these events, you won't be disappointed. Now, I mentioned in last week's show about the Boston Marathon opening up a virtual race to 70,000 runners. Well, I can now tell you that the Boston Athletic Association has revealed its in-person field size for the 125th edition on October 11. 20,000 runners will toe the start line at Hopkinton. Tom Grilk, President and CEO of the BAA, said, "In addition to a smaller field than in previous years, we will have significant additional protocols in place to ensure participant and public health. We are committed to making the oldest annual marathon in the world as safe as possible." Now, registrations open on April 20 and close on April 23, a very short window, guys, and unlike previous registration periods, you can enter any time during that period. Now, the selection process, however, will remain consistent with previous years. The qualifying window for the 2021 Boston Marathon opened on September 15, 2018. Any valid qualifying time run on or after that date may be used to submit a Boston Marathon registration application. Qualifying times must be achieved at USATF, AIMS, or foreign equivalent certified races. Times from virtual marathons cannot be used for Boston Marathon qualifying purposes. And finally, some sad news coming out of America this week with the passing of Dick Hoyt. Dick inspired thousands of runners, fathers and disabled athletes by pushing his son Rick, who is a quadriplegic and has cerebral palsy, in a specialised wheelchair at thousands of events, including fun runs, marathons and triathlons. Together, they completed 32 Boston marathons, and in 1992 even completed a run and bike across the US, covering 3,735 miles, 6,010 kilometres in 45 days. Dick died in his sleep at his Hellen home in Massachusetts. He was 80. Our thoughts are with his family at this time. There you go, another edition of Set the Pace, and so much running news going on. And it's only going to get busier, with more races coming back after the coronavirus pandemic, and also with the build-up to the Olympics in Tokyo in July. If you have some running news we don't know about, let us know in the comments below, or drop us an email at The Running Duck. If you have made it all the way through to the end of the video, thank you very much for watching. I will leave you with some of the photos from the Running Ducks Strava Club. Have a great week, and I'll catch you in the next edition of Set the Pace.